Hey, it's Michelle. I want to put a warning here because some of the stuff I'm going to be talking about tonight might be triggering for other people, and so I don't want you to be caught off guard. So if you are a survivor of sexual or physical child abuse, just know that that's some of the things I'm going to talk about tonight, and so I don't want you to stumble on this and not be forewarned. This is day 6 of my 60-day soul cleanse, and um, as I suspected, but maybe hoped wasn't true, every day really does get harder. I suspect if I'm going to be honest and attempt to really surrender to this process, it will get hard. Where to start? And forgive me now, my brain is all over the place. I've had such a weird day, and so much information has come into my space today that I feel scattered, but I also feel like I need to talk. So I'm glad you guys are there. And I appreciate everybody who's messaged me privately and sent me private videos. You guys are really sweet, and it really does help that people who are like-minded and or just care is talking back to me. Like I shared before, I'm working with this book called A Course in Weight Loss, and it's by Marianne Williamson, and she also she's a author who does a lot of spiritual work and is a student of the Course in Miracles, which I just know the title. I really don't know anything about the book per se. Has 21 spiritual lessons on surrendering your weight forever. And like I said in my first video, this is not a diet plan to tell you you're going to how to lose 100 pounds. It's more about an examination for yourself of why you're eating. And like I said, I'm 40 pounds away from what I consider my goal weight. And this sort of nagging feeling has sort of been bubbling to the surface that says, before I can surrender the rest of this weight, I need to sort of deal with why I've needed it for a good portion of my adult life. And so, again, I apologize that I'm all over the place. It's just been a really emotional day. So, during the day, just a point of disclosure, I work with women who are at risk in Baltimore City. And at risk means they're in and out of jail, they're drug addicted, they're trading sex for housing, drugs, food, and they're highly traumatized women. Well, on Monday mornings, part of my job is to go into the jail, and do a support group for the women who are currently incarcerated. And today's group topic it's always technically about trauma, but today specifically it was about if you could go back in time and tell your little girl self something, what do you think it would be to help change the course of history for the adult version of yourself that sits here in jail? Okay, guys, this group runs about 2 hours, and when I tell you that by the time I was done, I was vibrating all over the place, I was almost sick to my stomach. I just was done. Partly because, the stories the women were sharing, of course, were horrific and horrible, and just, you can't even blame them for ending up on drugs and selling their bodies, And as I sat there in the car, just sort of like feeling numb, I wasn't actually feeling numb. That's not true. I was desiring to feel numb. I was just vibrating all over the place. I was like, I could have easily been one of these women, right? They were traumatized in a lot of the ways that I was traumatized, and they chose drugs, and I chose food. And as I was sitting in the car thinking about my little girl self, I really started to feel sad and anxious and upset, and so my day has pretty much been precarious ever since, and all my bad behaviors are trying to poke themselves out, including a bag of M&Ms. Blah, blah, blah. In my first video, I talked about how I wanted to sort of get to the root of it, to the bottom of it, to the underpinning reason why food has been my crutch and the weight has been this armor and this protection. And, if you'd asked me 6 months ago, did I consider myself an anxious person? I'd have looked at you like blank stare. I mean, I'm usually the first one on the line to take a bet or a dare or whatever. But I also know that when I sit quietly and sort of listen to my body, when I can hear my body, there is a lot of anxiety that sort of courses through me. And a lot of my choices that I've been making, and not just with my food, but with my relationships and my choices and friends, and when I say yes and when I say no, has been at all costs always to protect me. And, I have this notion that if I am nice, if I am good, if make you feel good, then you won't harm me. And that truly is the thing that's the most important to me, that I'm not hurt. Um, I was reading this book. I got to page 19. I know some folks went out and bought the book, and so I'm on page 19. And she says, the weight has merely been a physical manifestation of my need to keep other people at bay. I fear other people. And I've built walls to protect myself. And just like I'm about to cry now, when I first read it, right, I fear other people. And when people meet me, they always feel so comfortable around me, and Michelle, I can talk to you, and your smile, but ultimately I always feel like if I'm not those things, if I don't put you at ease, that there's a chance that you will harm me. And that is not imagined, right? It's not some sort of psycho blah 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 that, I've made that story up. Since I was a very little girl, physical and sexual abuse has been a part of my life. And if it's not been somebody who was a caretaker, it has been somebody who's a family member. And for a really long time, I thought there was something wrong with me. There must be some homing device embedded in me somewhere that makes people people who are crudballs, people who are broken themselves, feel attracted to me in some way to act out their most poor behavior on. And so the coping mechanism to protect myself was to, maybe two things, I guess, to disarm people and say, look, I'm really nice. You don't have to mistreat me. And the other was to build up this wall of fat that if all the people you're going to harm, don't pick the fat girl because you won't be able to lift her up, or you're not attracted to her, or maybe she'll fight you back. I don't know. But the little girl in me that had a broken collarbone and a broken wrist and, a split head and unkind words said to, and she's just, she's doing the best she can. She's holding on the best she can. And, I always joke with my friends that, the fact that I'm not a psychopath is actually a really good thing. But I have to get to that little girl who needs to be healed. To let her know that she's done the best she can, and it is okay, and all is well, and things are not well. We'll get through this too. I need to know that I can be in the world, and not carry this burden of my body around, and that I won't be harmed. And I really need to convince myself of that. And I do. That's what I'm praying about. I'm like, just God, just heal me of this anxiety and fear that I'm in danger. Because I'm not. I'm not in danger. I'm not 5 years old. I'm not 2 years old. I'm not 10 years old. I'm not 11 years old. I'm not 16 years old. I have enough wherewithal and resources and sense of self that I can take care of myself. And that's it. Like I said, today's been a rough day. I don't invite rough days, but if this is going to be a part of the healing, then I'll have to brave it through, right? Right. I have to figure out how not to fear people and how to protect myself without being violent with myself, overeating and then punishing yourself, and then, being in the gym a million hours a week. that's violence against me. I'm inflicting violence on myself, and the same level of violence and abuse and disrespect that I've been trying to run away from, I bring to my own doorstep, right? So, again, thank you for listening. And I hope anybody who chose to listen to this who have their own struggles around sexual abuse and child abuse, take care of yourself. It's all is well. Um, yeah. All right, y'all. Prayers, love, and light. And I'll talk to you guys later.